Welcome to the Properties to Profit podcast. I'm Michael, your host. Excited to share with you my journey from a six-figure job to building a successful real estate business. Each episode will explore various aspects of real estate investing, from wholesaling and flipping to managing rentals. I'll share the lessons and insights I've gained, aiming to help you avoid mistakes and achieve your financial goals. Expect guest experts, valuable tips, and practical advice to guide you on your own real estate journey. Thank you for tuning in. If you find any value in this podcast, please subscribe, share, and follow me on social media. Let's turn properties into profits together. Hey guys, Michael here with Properties to Profits. And on today's episode, I really want to take the time to talk about mental toughness, how you respond when life punches first. So we always talk about motivation. I don't hear many people talk about mental toughness. And I just really heard something that really defined this for me, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I think mental toughness helps you decide if you're going to win more than anything else. We all have bad days or bad things happen to us that go against the preference and how we want life to go. Some of us crumble. Some of us just pause and keep going. Others, it just doesn't affect us. And if it does affect us, it's, do we get stronger or do we get weaker? It's not about talent. It's how you respond to adversity. Because we all deal with it, every single one of us. And so I kind of want to break this down for you guys on kind of what I've learned. We all have this baseline, right? So you understand where you are today, and you're generally happy wherever that is, or you're generally sad, mad, whatever your baseline is. And then it's what happens when something out of the ordinary or bad, something you don't want to happen to you, happens. How far do you fall or rise when things go wrong? And you can measure those, and then you can improve each one of those, which will in return improve your mental toughness, and I believe help you get more out of what you want out of life, whether that's in business, your relationships, sales, whatever that might look like. And here's kind of how I want to kind of lay this out for you guys, so you guys can really understand what this looks like. So once again, your baseline is how you act every day when life is normal. It's just you every single day. That's your starting point, hence baseline. It's your habits, it's your mindset, it's your emotional stability on a day-to-day basis. It's your default behavior, all different ways of defining it. Everyone has that. Some people have a stronger baseline, some have a weaker one. Doesn't really matter. You get to choose, and you get to define it, and then you get to make it stronger for the life that you actually want. So now that you have your baseline defined, now it's like tolerance, right? You have a high tolerance or low tolerance. What can you endure and keep going and stay at your baseline when things go wrong? When someone dies, when you get broken up with, when you're in a car accident, how long can you endure those things, right? Or how many bad things need to happen before you react, before the bomb blows up? For all of us, it's different. Some of us can't even last 3 to 5 minutes. Other of us can go days or weeks with bad things happen. We can deal with the breakups and we don't react. When we're struggling in the sales, we realize, okay, that's just normal. I can change this and I can control this, and we just move on. Next, we got to define fortitude. What's the fortitude? What happens when your tolerance runs out? This is how much you change when you can't maintain your normal behavior. Are you someone who just needs to take a breath in and breath out and you're good to go? Are you someone who's got to go home because you can't work and be around people? I've been on both ends of those spectrums, and I'm going to share with a story with you guys later. Do you blow up? Do you cause other people pain? Do you shut down? Do you run? Do you hide? Do you go to alcohol or drugs or sugar? What do you do? Fortitude at the end of the day measures, can you keep going at your standard baseline, or do you bend or break? That simple. Resilience. How fast do you bounce back after you react poorly? So after your fortitude's failed, how fast you bounce back. Doesn't matter how bad your fortitude is. If you still bounce back quick, you're still resilient. That's good. And so, like, if you can control your fortitude, how bad you react, and you can bounce back quick, you're still in good shape. Different people take different amount of time, and it could be different ways in your life. So in your health, it could take you 5 minutes to bounce back after you start eating poorly. In your relationships, you could break down and shut down and not talk to your partner for 3 days. I think most of us would say that's bad, or a few hours. And that separates the people who have the life they want between the people who are just average and are blaming everything else. And then last thing really talk about is adaptability. After everything that's happened and you're back to that new baseline, is that baseline improved or is it lower? Because a lot of us go through life and our baselines get lower. We become more victim. And did that tough moment sharpen you or did it dull your axe? Did it permanently lower your standards or did it permanently increase your standards? That is the long term measure of mental toughness, what I just defined for you guys. So let's kind of define this a little bit more. You need to find your baseline. What is your everyday? Who do you show up as every day? And then you need to start measuring your tolerance. How long can I handle discomfort before I break my baseline? And how can you improve that? I'm a firm believer if you do hard things every day, you slowly improve that. Now, fortitude. We're going to break at some point, but it's what do you do to cope with when you break? Can you go journal? Can you go breathe? Can you go on a walk? Can you go work out? You can train all of those things. You can replace the alcohol, you can replace the drugs, the screaming, the hiding, the running, whatever it is, the violence that you do. And then last, you got to train resilience. You got to train yourself to bounce back faster. Instead of spiraling for hours, try for 5 minutes. I'm reading Miracle Morning again, and he talks about setting a timer or something out of your control, letting that go off. That's resilience. After something tough happens, you need to decide, how do you adapt? What's your new baseline? Are you stronger or weaker because of it? And what are you going to do in the future? If you can do all of these things, I believe you'll be stronger mentally. And I believe when you're stronger mentally through those 4 things we just talked about, you're capable of doing more in life and achieving what you want out of life. Because I've never found a human being who didn't have things unfortunate happen to them. Some more severe than others. And I've seen people with less severe things act worse. And I've seen people with the most severe things not react and keep going. You get to decide what level of that spectrum you're on. I've wavered back and forth. In the last few years, I've worked towards increasing my baseline so that I get better, I get stronger. I stop letting my emotions control my actions, and I can become the person people rely on in business and in life. And that's how you raise your baseline. Mental toughness isn't something you're born with. It's a muscle that you get to grow. And just like when you're in the gym, if you measure your strength and measure your waistline and measure all of your stats, you know where you need to train and what you need to work on. Most of us don't know we have a baseline, let alone what our tolerance is, what our fortitude is, or what our resilience is. Now I've just shared those things with you. You have options. What are you going to do to train those things and make it better? When life hits you, do you fold? Or do you keep going? When you start to understand that this is how mental toughness works, you can predict and react and improve it on purpose. Lessons here are you can't avoid hard things, but you can control how much they change you and do they change you for the negative or for the better. Your bounce back time matters more than your breakdown time. So if you break down terribly, but you can bounce back in 5 minutes, that's better than how bad you break down. And then you can start to realize that you can control a breakdown, which should make your bounce back even easier. We want consistency in life. And I think all humans understand there are emotional explosions. So focus on that consistency and getting back to your baseline and improving your baseline, and then control the explosions. You get to design and build a tougher version of yourself. I think that if you do these small things, cold showers, workouts, hard conversations, shorten your bounce back time by controlling your breathing, controlling your touch, all of those things, journal your reactions so you can start to track your patterns and see what you want to change. Audit your baseline. Did you get stronger or weaker? And cut out negative coping mechanisms that lower your baseline. Food, alcohol, drugs, things like that. I have found that when I started tracking these things, I realized that in certain areas of my life, I was better than others. For example, in personal relationships, I would shut down when things didn't go the way I wanted them to go down, sometimes days at a time. What's that mean? It means that when things didn't go right in my relationship, how I viewed it, remember you're dealing with a partner who may view things different than you, and that's okay, that my tolerance would run out and I would change drastically. So I had weak fortitude. But once that I had got back to my normal level of fortitude, I could bounce back quickly. And that was something I've grown. I think my current partner would say my fortitude is extremely strong. When we first started dating, there would be times where we would disagree on something, and I'd need a day before we could get back to it. Now it's 5 minutes. That's fortitude and that's growth. It happens everywhere. You just have to track it for what you want out of life and improve it. If you guys found any value in this, please share it. And I hope that you guys did. Follow me on Instagram, realestatemike02. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening to the Properties to Profit podcast. I hope you found today's episode valuable. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe and share it with others who might benefit. Follow me on social media for more updates and tips. Until next time, keep turning properties into profits.